Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. In March of this year, the Dutch company ASML revealed that the United States, Japan, and the Netherlands had reached an agreement, and Japan and the Netherlands successively announced export control time. Japan decided to implement the export control rules on July 23, and on this day Japan implemented the new chip regulations as scheduled, leaving no room for it. According to the time announced by the Netherlands, export control of high-end DUV lithography machines will also be carried out on September 1. At present, the tripartite agreement is a foregone conclusion. The United States, Japan, and the Netherlands are all very important countries in the semiconductor industry chain. The United States has many chip design companies and advanced manufacturing technology, and is one of the leaders in the global semiconductor industry. Japan has a world-leading position in the field of semiconductor equipment and materials, and many key equipment and materials rely on Japanese suppliers. The Netherlands is famous for its advanced lithography machine manufacturing strength and is an important lithography machine industry center in the world. These three countries have reached a consensus restriction agreement, targeting China's semiconductor industry, which will have a certain impact on China's semiconductor industry. Chinese semiconductor companies may face disruptions in technology and equipment supply chains, resulting in limited production and R&D capabilities. International cooperation and technical exchanges in China's semiconductor industry may also be restricted, affecting technological innovation and development. Japan has already implemented new chip regulations on July 23, and 23 types of cutting-edge semiconductor facilities such as lithography machines, etching machines, and testing equipment have been subject to export controls. Japan has no plans to look back on this move. The United States is the initiator of the tripartite agreement, and Japan is the most active. It not only took the lead in announcing the export control time, but also restricted as many as 23 types of semiconductor equipment at one time. Even the United States is ashamed of itself. Relatively speaking, the attitude of the Netherlands is more tangled. At first, it did not agree to the request of the United States, but insisted on free trade. Under the pressure of the United States, the Netherlands finally compromised. The Netherlands plans to implement export control rules on September 1 to restrict the export of high-end DUV lithography machines. Prior to this, the EUV lithography machine of the Dutch company ASML could not be freely shipped to the mainland market. It can be seen that as long as it involves high-end semiconductor technology, the United States and other Western countries will strictly block it, worrying about the overall rise of Chinese semiconductors. Some foreign media said, China also has corresponding measures. China's Ministry of Commerce and the General Administration of Customs decided to implement the export control plan on August 1, restricting the export of gallium and germanium. Some experts believe that this is China's countermeasure against Western countries, and the material that can be used as a countermeasure is certainly not simple. Gallium and germanium are two common semiconductor materials. Looking separately, gallium is a metal element with low melting point, high conductivity, and photoelectric properties. It is often used in the manufacture of optoelectronic devices, solar panels, semiconductor lasers, etc. Germanium has semiconductor properties similar to silicon and is often used in the manufacture of optoelectronic devices, infrared sensors, solar cells, and semiconductor detectors. China's strict export controls on these materials may lead to supply shortages and price increases, which will have a certain impact on related industries in Western countries. Especially for those semiconductor industries that rely on imported gallium and germanium, supply disruptions could adversely affect their production and R&D activities. Western countries are already trying to get rid of China's gallium and germanium industry chain, but the difficulties are not something Western countries can easily overcome. Gallium and germanium are mainly produced in China, which has abundant mineral resources and a complete supply chain. Western countries need to invest a lot of money and resources to find alternative mineral resources and establish a complete supply chain, which requires time and huge investment. Western countries need to establish a complete gallium and germanium industry chain, including mining, refining, processing, and product manufacturing. This requires massive investment and capacity building to meet domestic demand. Each of these links requires huge capital expenditures, ranging from billions to tens of billions. After solving the funding problem, Western countries also need to participate in the competition. China has a first-mover advantage in the gallium and germanium industry chain, and has a high level of technology and cost advantages. Western countries may face fierce competition from China in the process of establishing industrial chains, and need to maintain competitiveness in terms of technology, quality, and price. It's easy to say, but hard to do. Seemingly simple raw materials, in fact, China has spent decades behind it to have such an industrial chain status. If China does not liberalize export controls, it will be almost impossible for the United States, Japan, and the Netherlands to find substitutes. Even if it is found, how long can it be supplied? Therefore, the best way to counter the tripartite agreement between the United States, Japan, and the Netherlands is to be more ruthless than them. Only when they really realize their mistakes will they sit down and talk about it. As for how to talk about it, it is not up to them to decide how much bargaining chips the Western countries should take out. If you agree with the point of view of this video, please like it, welcome to Forward, leave a message and share.